Most Toyota upgrades are overpriced, overhyped, or just flat out do not work. Spend $500 on a cold air intake, and your fuel economy barely moves. Spend $300 on a throttle controller, and your throttle response feels the same after a week. But there are 5 upgrades sitting under $50 each that Toyota owners have been quietly installing for years. Upgrades that show up in real data, real fuel economy numbers, real maintenance logs, and real engine longevity. These are not gimmicks. These are not affiliate shortcuts. These are $5 for dollar improvements that deliver measurable results every single time. Let us get into it. Upgrade number 1 is the high-flow cabin air filter upgrade. Your Toyota came from the factory with a basic paper cabin air filter, and for most owners that filter sits forgotten inside the cabin air filter housing, which is typically located behind the glove box on the passenger side of the dashboard. Most drivers do not touch it until a mechanic pulls it out and shows them something that looks like a gray carpet sample. But here is what nobody tells you. A clogged or low-quality cabin air filter does not just affect the air you breathe, it directly affects how hard your blower motor has to work to push air through the system. When that filter is restricted, the blower motor runs under increased electrical load. On Toyota hybrids like the Prius, Camry Hybrid, and RAV4 Hybrid, that extra electrical load draws from the same system that supports fuel efficiency. On traditional gas Toyotas, it shortens the lifespan of the blower motor itself, a component that can cost $200 to $400 to replace. The solution costs between $15 and $35. A high-quality activated carbon cabin air filter made by brands like Fram, Bosch, or Toyota Genuine Parts replaces the factory paper element in under 5 minutes. No tools are required on most models. You open the glove box, push in the sides to release the stop tabs, lower the door past its normal swing, and the filter housing is right there. Slide out the old filter, slide in the new one, done. The activated carbon layer does something a paper filter cannot. It traps odors, exhaust gases, and volatile organic compounds before they enter the cabin. Independent airflow tests show that a fresh, high-quality filter can restore blower efficiency by 20 to 30% on systems that have been running a dirty factory filter for over a year. On hybrid models, that efficiency recovery translates directly into fuel economy improvements. For less than $30, this is one of the highest return upgrades you can make to your Toyota's comfort and system health. Upgrade number 2, the fuel injector cleaner treatment. There is a quiet problem building inside most Toyota engines right now, and it has nothing to do with the oil or the timing system. It is carbon and varnish deposits forming on the fuel injector tips, those small precision components that sit inside the intake manifold and spray a fine mist of fuel directly into each cylinder. When those tips get coated with deposits, the spray pattern breaks down. Instead of a clean mist, you get an uneven, dribbling stream. That uneven spray causes incomplete combustion, which shows up as slightly reduced fuel economy, rough idle, hesitation on acceleration, and in some cases, a lean misfire code on the onboard diagnostic system. Toyota's 2AR-FE 4-cylinder engine found in the Camry and RAV4 and the 2GR-FE V6 found in the Highlander and Avalon are both known to develop injector deposits when vehicles are used primarily for short city trips. The reason is simple. Short trips never allow the engine to reach full operating temperature long enough to burn off carbon naturally. A high-quality fuel injector cleaner, specifically a polyetheramine-based formula, costs between $8 and $20 per treatment. Brands like Techron Concentrate Plus by Chevron, Lucas Fuel Treatment, and Redline SI1 have all shown measurable results in independent injector cleaning studies. The process requires zero mechanical work. You pour the entire bottle into a low fuel tank, fill the tank normally, and drive. As the treated fuel passes through the fuel injectors, the cleaning chemistry dissolves and suspends carbon deposits, which then exit harmlessly through the exhaust system. SAE International published research showing that polyethyramine-based fuel treatments can restore injector spray pattern efficiency by up to 72% in heavily deposited injectors. For Toyota owners experiencing rough cold starts, a slight drop in highway miles per gallon, or occasional hesitation between 2,000 and 3,000 revolutions per minute. This $10 to $20 treatment done once every 10,000 miles is a proven, factory-supported method of maintaining fuel system cleanliness. If you've made it this far, consider hitting that thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. It helps me keep bringing you honest, proven car advice. Upgrade number 3, the spark plug upgrade. If your Toyota is running original equipment manufacturer spark plugs beyond 60,000 miles, this upgrade should move to the top of your list immediately. Toyota specifies iridium or platinum spark plugs across most of its lineup, and for good reason. The spark plug electrode is the final point of the entire combustion process. When that electrode wears down, the ignition system compensates by increasing the voltage needed to fire the plug. That increased voltage puts stress on the ignition coils, the spark plug wires on older models, and the coil-on-plug boots found on modern Toyotas. Worn spark plugs also produce a weaker, less consistent spark. A weaker spark means incomplete combustion, which means unburned fuel entering the exhaust stream. That unburned fuel contaminates the oxygen sensors, accelerates catalytic converter wear, and triggers fuel trim corrections in the engine control unit that gradually reduce fuel efficiency. NGK and Denso are the two suppliers Toyota uses from the factory, and both offer iridium upgrade spark plugs in the $8 to $12 per plug range. For a 4-cylinder engine like the 2.5-liter found in the Camry and RAV4, that is $32 to $48 total. For the 3.5-liter V6, it runs slightly higher, but still well within the $50 range per set if you catch a sale. The iridium center electrode is harder and thinner than standard platinum, which produces a more focused, consistent spark for the entire service life of the plug. Toyota service data shows that vehicles with fresh iridium plugs installed at the correct interval report an average fuel economy improvement of 1 to 4% compared to vehicles running worn plugs beyond their service window. On a vehicle that averages 30 miles per gallon and travels 15,000 miles annually, that 1 to 4% recovery represents real money. Install them yourself following the torque specification listed in your owner's manual, and this single upgrade pays for itself within one full tank. Upgrade number 4 is the OBD2 Bluetooth diagnostic scanner. This upgrade does not physically change anything on your Toyota. It changes what you know about your Toyota, and that knowledge is worth more than almost any mechanical modification you can make. The OBD2 port on your vehicle is a standardized diagnostic connection located under the dashboard on the driver's side, typically near the steering column. It has been federally required on all vehicles sold in the United States since 1996. Toyota's engineering team uses this port to communicate with every major system in the car, from the engine control unit to the transmission control module to the hybrid battery management system on hybrid models. a quality Bluetooth OBD2 scanner paired with a free app like Torque Pro or the Toyota-specific OBD Fusion gives you real-time access to live sensor data that your Toyota's infotainment system never shows you. You can read intake air temperature, cool down temperature, fuel trim percentages, oxygen sensor voltages, battery voltage, transmission temperature on equipped models, and dozens of additional parameters that tell you exactly how your engine is operating at any given moment. More importantly, you can read and clear diagnostic trouble codes, those check engine light triggers that otherwise send owners to a dealership for a $150 diagnostic fee. Clearing codes when appropriate can save you that charge. On most minor faults, like a loose gas cap triggering an evaporative emission system code or a sensor sending a temporary voltage signal, an OBD2 scanner tells you what the code is, whether it is serious, and whether clearing it is appropriate before spending money at a shop. Bluetooth OBD2 scanners from trusted brands like VPeak, BayFX Products, and Blue Driver range from $20 to $50. The Blue Driver at $99 is slightly above the $50 limit, but it includes Toyota-specific enhanced codes beyond the standard OBD2 protocol. For basic code reading and live data monitoring, the VPeak Mini at $22 performs reliably on every Toyota model tested. This is one upgrade that every Toyota owner should have in the glove box without exception. Upgrade number 5 is the synthetic gear oil upgrade for manual transmission and differential models. This final upgrade applies specifically to Toyota owners running a manual transmission or a four-wheel drive model with a front differential, rear differential, or transfer case. These fluid-filled systems are often overlooked during routine maintenance because they do not appear on standard oil change reminder stickers. The fluid inside a Toyota manual transmission, like the 6-speed unit found in the Tacoma, the Corolla, and the GR86, degrades under heat and load just like engine oil. Factory-filled gear oil in many Toyota manual transmissions is a conventional GL4 rated fluid. Over time and mileage, that fluid breaks down, loses its viscosity stability, and allows increased metal-to-metal contact between the synchronizer rings, gear teeth, and input shaft bearings. The early symptoms are subtle: slightly notchy shifts when cold, occasional resistance going into second gear at low speeds, and a slight clunk when engaging reverse. By the time drivers notice these symptoms clearly, measurable wear has already occurred. A full synthetic GL4 manual transmission fluid, like AMSOIL Manual Synchro Mesh, Redline MT90, or Royal Purple Synchromax, costs between $15 and $25 per quart. Most Toyota manual transmissions hold between 2 and 3 quarts, bringing the total cost to $30 to $50. Draining and refilling requires a drain plug at the bottom of the transmission housing and a fill plug on the side. Both are accessible from underneath the vehicle with basic hand tools. Owners who have performed this upgrade on high-mileage Tacomas and manual Corollas consistently report noticeably smoother and more precise shift action within the first 500 miles. The synthetic base oil maintains stable viscosity across a far wider temperature range than the factory fill, which means cold morning shifts are smoother, hot canyon driving shifts stay consistent, and synchronizer wear slows dramatically. Toyota recommends checking and replacing gear oil at 30,000 to 60,000 mile intervals on manual transmission models, and many owners stretch those intervals far too long. For $50 or less, this fluid upgrade is the single highest impact maintenance item most manual Toyota owners are currently skipping. These 5 upgrades share one thing in common. None of them are about adding power you do not need or changing the way your Toyota was engineered to perform. They are about keeping every system inside your Toyota operating at the level it was designed to reach. A clean air path, clean fuel, a consistent spark, real-time system visibility, and protected drivetrain fluids. That combination does not just maintain your Toyota, it extends it. And for under $50 each, the return on investment is difficult to argue with. If you are enjoying this content, consider watching the next video where I am sharing the exact maintenance schedule that helps Toyota engines cross 300,000 miles.